All right, we're going to start with the pivotal game three between the Suns and the Pelicans in New Orleans. Suns without Devin Booker. So, will Chris Paul pick up the slack? Take your pick, Chelsea. Who is more likely to go over his scoring prop? Chris Paul 20.5 or Brandon Ingram 24.5?
Ooh, this is a tough one because initially you would think Chris Paul, right? Because Devin Booker is not going to be in the fold here. I think I would lean towards that though, because Chris Paul is the veteran presence here, and I think he does what his team needs him to do. And we saw him in the first game drop 30 points on New Orleans, so he certainly has the capability here. Brandon Ingram could definitely go over his points prop as well. He's hit this in one of the two games, game two, exploding for 37 points. So I think for me, it's do we think the Suns play better defense in this one? I think there's a chance that they do. They still have their best defenders on the court. Devin Booker is not really known for his defense. So I like both of them, but I would lean towards Chris Paul being the better play here.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Chelsea. And I think you said something which is very prescient, which is Chris Paul does what his team needs him to do, and they are going to need him to score here. So, yeah, Brandon Ingram could go off, but after what we saw from him in game two, I think this number is a little bit inflated at 24 and a half. It's over his season average scoring. And also, I expect the Suns, because Ingram was so good, to really make him earn those shots. Maybe use Mikal Bridges, who is the best defender in that Suns lineup, to frustrate Ingram. So because Paul is going to have to perform and going to have to step up for the Suns to win, I go with CP3.
I'm going to have to agree with you. CP3 doing his little running mid-range jumpers all night long, and I see that being over 20.5. Headed down to Atlanta, we got the Heat looking to take a commanding 3-0 lead on the Hawks. Jimmy Butler is coming off a playoff career high of 45 points. Can he do it again? Take your pick, Jenks. Who is more likely to go over his scoring props? Butler 24.5 or Trae Young 27.5?
I know it's a high number, but I'm going to go over for Trae Young at 27 and a hook. Jimmy Butler went off, but that number seems a touch inflated based on that 45-point performance. The Heat are very deep. And who was it? Duncan Robinson, in game one, who got it done? Whether it's Robinson, whether it's Butler, whether it's Kyle Lowry, there are different players, a lot of different players in that Heat lineup who can score and step up. Whereas if you're Atlanta and you want to win, Trae Young has to perform. And Atlanta is so much better at home on the road. They have the fifth best covering rate at home in the NBA this season. And when they play at home, if you look at his splits, Trae Young is so much better in Atlanta than he is on the road. And when I look at great scorers in this league, be it Kevin Durant or Trae Young or Steph Curry, at some point after a bad game or two, we see positive regression and they become that player again that we've seen throughout the year. Trae Young is that guy. I expect him to show out at home. So give me over Trae Young.
Yeah, I'm going to go that route as well, just because of the home road splits. Trae Young has been markedly better in Atlanta, averaging 29.4 in his last 10 and overall games. But looking at his home splits, he's averaging 30 points a game. For some reason, his shooting percentages are way better at home, and some of it has to do with the Heat defense. I get it. It's a tough defensive matchup for Trae Young here, but I think even if it's a loss, it's going to be Trae Young taking the most shots. So it's going to be more of a usage factor, and the fact that he's taking over a game, whether it be a win, whether it be a loss. The thing with Jimmy Butler is we know this Heat team can balance their minutes. We've seen it all season long. They have a great rotation where they have guys coming off the bench and really contributing. And think about the Heat's focus right now. It's on the long game. It's not on Jimmy Butler racking up the minutes in this probably meaningless game against the Hawks. So I think the better play here would be on Trae Young going over his points prop of 27.5.
I'm going to say that I don't like either of these, to be quite honest. But if only because the Heat have been so locked down on Trae Young during this series so far, but he does score better in the playoff at home. So if I had to choose, I would go Trae Young.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there. He's the guy most likely to go off, but I'm with you. This is not an easy take your pick to make.